What they do, what it is, this is Orion aka Brass Balls for another installment of Deep Dive Tape Stash. Now before I slam this gem on y'all, as always, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Orion Hip Hop. Would always appreciate that. You know how it gets busy. Drop a comment, share, like, repost, all of that. Now this little single I got in front of y'all is ONYX Slam. Now let me put the time into context. The year is 1993. Dr. Dre has absolutely taken over the hip hop industry with his sound. Death Row Records is in full swing, and the only ray of light for East Coast hip hop was Redman. But before Wu-Tang came in like the ninjas they are and completely avalanched an era in hip-hop and were the force in New York to be reckoned with, there was the Mad Face invasion. And ONYX, to some degree, really brought New York gritty hardcore hip-hop back in full front of what was going down at that time. Now, ONYX, with the Mad Face invasion, with what they were doing, you gotta remember, Slam was not the first single from the brothers. Throw Your Guns in the Air had been out since 92. Shifty came out sometime in late 92, I believe. And then they slammed everybody with this joint right here. And Slam was the breakout single, no doubt. To this day, may be the biggest single from the group ever. This song is still played today at basketball games. This is definitely a joint that crossed over for many reasons, which I'm gonna get into right now. But I specifically remember when ONYX fully took shape in the scene, and I remember like even the Mad Face logo being a thing that I saw a lot of graffiti artists incorporate into their tags. I remember being a shorty in Babcock Park, you know, and I was always like fascinated by graph, and a lot of heads, at least in Hialeah where I'm from, were using the Mad Face to dot their eyes, to use as the point for their exclamation points. It was just something that a lot of heads were doing because ONYX was such a big thing at that time. And I even remember dudes having like the ONYX bandanas and shit. It was such a tight era, man. And the timing of Slam was perfect because the other aspect to the song that made it blow, and you could call it a case of serendipity, if you will, would be the NBA. This is the 90s. You know, 92 was Shaq's rookie year. Shaq was known to, you know, slam dunk on cats heavy as shit. You know, Jordan back in the league, reclaiming his throne. Sean Kemp dunking all over the place. Clyde Drexler, Dominique Wilkins, all these cats were known for the slam dunk. And the slam dunk was the power move in the NBA at that time. And one of the reasons that made the league so endearing and so great to watch. And so this song encapsulates that. This was the perfect song to coincide with the slam dunk era in basketball. So here's another take as to why I think this song hit it so big, is that heavy metal at that time, rock music in general, was as big as hip hop and competing for that #1 slot in music. And the dance that heavy metal fans would often do is the slam dance. In the mosh pit, you're slam dancing. And so this song, I think, also registered and crossed over with heavy metal rock fans that were into more aggressive type dancing. And if you look at the video, there's a heavy metal band that makes a cameo, and I'm talking about none other than Biohazard. Biohazard actually did the remix to ONYX's Slam with them and went on to do another track with them, Judgment Night, for the Judgment Night soundtrack, which is also a banger. Original members of ONYX was obviously Sticky Fingers, Fredro Starr, Sonny C's, but a lot of people might not know Big DS was an original member. He only was there for the first album, left shortly after the first album, and there's interviews with Fredro as to why that was. And it was pretty much they just didn't feel his bars were up to par with what they were bringing, and he may have felt a little bit isolated with his bars being taken, his verses being taken out of songs or whatnot. So he left the group, unfortunately, shortly after this. You could actually hear some Big DS demos on YouTube now and stuff. the brother passed away, so rest in peace to Big DS. And unfortunately, there's a lot of death, that I'm gonna mention right now, because later on, when ONYX would release their third album, Shut 'Em Down, X1 became part of the group, and X1 was somebody that was in another group called Gangrene, which was an affiliated group of ONYX. And after Gangrene didn't really come to fruition with a full album or anything, I guess they included X1 as a member. And then later on in the 2000s, X1 committed suicide while in Las Vegas. And then the other person I want to mention is Jam Master Jay. ONYX was one of the biggest groups that Jam Master Jay signed and was behind. And unfortunately, we all know Jam Master Jay passed away as well. Now, the guy who produced Slam is actually CHYSKILLZ. And once again, I'm going to say rest in peace to CHYSKILLZ. Passed away in 2018. CHYSKILLZ was an incredible producer, mad underrated, doesn't get enough props. But unfortunately, even with doing this one and looking into CHYSKILLZ catalog, there's not a lot of production credits I found for CHYSKILLZ, other than producing a couple of tracks for Shaq and a track or two for LL Cool J and what he did on the first ONYX album. Whatever reason, there's not a lot of stuff out there as far as production is concerned from CHYSKILLZ. And it's a shame, because CHYSKILLZ is a very talented producer, as you can hear on this Back the Fuck Up album that ONYX released. He produced pretty much, I would say, 90% of that album. And this song, Slam, in itself, if you really dissect what went into it, I mean, the dude had a Sam and Dave sample. So Sam and Dave is a duo that was signed to Stax Records, and Stax Records is an incredible label. Everybody, when you think about soul, you think about Motown Records and what they did, but Stax Records was pretty much toe-to-toe with Motown, in my opinion. And if you got HBO, go check out the Stax Records documentary. It's a 4-part series. It's really dope, definitely worth it. They definitely talk about Sam and Dave. Sam and Dave most known for Soul Man and that song, but what CHYSKILLZ sampled on this one is the bass line from Rich Kind of Poverty. If you go check that out, man, like how he chopped that up was so fucking dope, and just the EQing he did to bring out that bass is so ill as well. He also sampled the jazz musician Yusef Lateef, a song called Second Movement, and it's pretty much like that ambiance that you hear, that like almost like strings that you can hear that adds some tension to the beat. And then the horn chop that he has in there, the little horn that you hear coming in and out that he's cutting up, is a Miles Davis horn from a song No Blues, a live album that Miles Davis did. Just a quick chop that he put in there. I mean, this beat is fantastic. If you really dive into the instrumental, you can really hear these nuances of these different samples that he got in there. And go to whosampled.com so you could understand what I'm saying, and it'll lead you to the right parts of the records that CHYSKILLZ sampled to make this incredible beat that to this day makes this song a classic. And the other thing I'm gonna say about this track isn't so much with the sampling in itself, but how they came up with the slam, that is an interpolation, should I say, that the group did from a band called the Mohawks that has a song called The Champ. If you go listen to it, you can hear that, and you'll understand how they came up with the hook for Slam, which is genius in itself. So shout out to the brothers at ONYX, Sunny C's, Fredro Starr, Sticky Fingers. Hats off for that shit. Very creative. Through my research, CHYSKILLZ does have some interviews up on YouTube, and he actually breaks down of how when he made this track and stuff, and that was an original, and he went home and made this beat. Thank God he did that, because I don't know how the original sounded, but this shit still slams to this day. Much to my wonderful surprise, CHYSKILLZ and Fredro Starr ended up reconnecting. There's an EP that Fredro Starr released called A Few Joints. It's available on Spotify, on all the listening platforms. Go check it out. It's worth a listen. That was dope to see them brothers actually at some point reconnect, because you didn't hear CHYSKILLZ and ONYX after that first album. You know, a lot of the production was handled by ONYX after that, and, you know, shut him down as a classic, no doubt. But it would have been dope to see CHYSKILLZ do more production for ONYX, because I felt their sound had a cohesiveness to it. Special shout out to Mr. Belief, who has a track with ONYX called Get It Lit. It's dope to see somebody that I know personally collab with a legendary group. And ONYX is still very much doing their thing. They got projects that they've released produced by Snow Goons that is worth checking out. Bangers on that for sure. I do wish Sonny Caesar was still very much a part of the group. I feel like they all together are possibly one of the best trios in rap ever. The dynamic that Sonny C's adds with his voice can't be overlooked, can't be overstated. Shout out to the people that I got this tape from, because I bought this tape as a bundle with a bunch of other tapes. It actually wasn't included on the order, but because I had copped like 6 tapes or something, the person I bought it from on eBay included it in the bundle for free, gave me just a bonus tape. So that was mad dope that they did that for me. I love it when people do that kind of stuff. There are good people in this world. The only knock I'm gonna give up to this tape is that it has only the vocal and the instrumental. Def Jam, JMJ, y'all could have given us a remix, and the alternative remix with Biohazard, a track that didn't make the album. Give us a little something more, man, you know. But it is what it is. You can hear everything online these days. What is my old crony ass talking about anyways? With that said, I'm done ranting. Hope y'all enjoyed another Deep Dive Tape Stash episode. This one was a doozy. See you on the next Deep Dive. Peace.